NBC Found fans, we are so back. This may be one of the greatest missing person cases that the team must solve because it is one of their own. What's up, y'all? Welcome to the Lawrence Report. Tonight's broadcast discussing episode 1 of season 2 of NBC Found. And like I said, y'all, we are so back. I have been waiting, anticipating for and what I call the best show that is going to be on TV this fall, y'all. I'm talking about Found. In fact, I sent out this tweet last night. I want to show it to y'all. And this tweet right here, it says that this show, NBC Found, will absolutely be the best fall television show. They're about to break so many records with this season. It's off to a heart-racing start. And I can't admit, last night, my heart was racing, especially within that first 5 minutes. Oh my God, they quickly pick off where things happen with Sir and Lacey. But before we get started, it'd be great, appreciate if you guys could hit that subscribe button, like, and please do not forget to comment. Let's talk about NBC Found. I'm so excited about this show that is returning for us as fans. This is top tier writing. This is top tier acting with these actors. If you're not watching NBC Found, I need you to get on it immediately. Let's talk about NBC Found. So we quickly pick off right where we left off at last night. I mean, in the previous season, right? Because we know that Sir was like, listen, if you ever try to rat me out, if you ever try to turn me in, I will go after Lacey. And that's exactly what he did. Let's take a look at this opening scene right here. In this opening scene, we end up seeing Gabby frantically calling Dawn because it appears that Sir has taken her rat poison and she feels like he is about to basically poison everybody who she is connected to, right? And, while this is happening, a lot is racing through her mind. She's thinking about Lacey. She's thinking about Zeke and everybody, Margaret, everybody else that is a part of her connection, right? And we end up seeing Margaret at that train station with a sandwich in her hand, and she's wiping those tears. She's upset about what happened from the last time and how Gabby held a secret. She ignores all the phone calls from Gabby, but she finally picks up whenever Dawn calls her, right? Dawn warns her, hey, listen, do not eat or drink anything because Sir may have poisoned you and everybody else that we are connected to, right? So from there, it's a very frantic situation, and Gabby is on her way. She's worried about Zeke, trying to contact Zeke to make sure that he didn't also, unfortunately, eat anything. But we do end up seeing Zeke. Looks like he ordered some Chinese, and he is one of the people that was passed out. And he got that rat poison, unfortunately, because that's what, Sir ended up doing. Dawn was the first person to discover Zeke right here on this ground. Of course, he's passed out from the rat poison, and they end up getting in contact with his father. And we know that Zeke is agoraphobic, right? So he's having these panic attacks when he finally wakes up at the hospital. And there's an argument going back and forth between the doctor and Gabby and the team saying, listen, should he be released? Should he stay, right? But at the same time for Zeke, he ended up, we see Dawn. Dawn found a 2-week notice pink slip that was left on his computer. He basically was saying he was getting ready to leave Gabby and the team, right? But at the same time, when it comes to Zeke, we kind of saw this last season that Zeke and Lacey, they kind of developed a friendship that is a little bit closer than what you call friends, potential lovers, basically, right? So we're definitely shipping Lacey and my boy Zeke, right? And Zeke is finally able to get back to his normal self. His father's there with him, Dawn is with him, and I'm happy about that right there. Now, we have got to talk about Margaret. Margaret showed us a new leaf last night. Margaret was not holding back. Whenever they're at the hospital talking about Zeke, Margaret's like, listen, she's talking to Gabby. She's like, listen, you failed Zeke just like you failed the rest of us because everybody's dealing with these ramifications about Gabby holding the secret in about Sir. And Sir even takes on a new identity, right? Well, not a new identity, I guess you can say, but he kind of like shapes himself and cleans himself up, right, to make him look like his old self. Now, the secret's out. Most of everybody in the crew knows about Sir and Lacey, right, except for one person, the one and only Officer Trent. And Gabby has to break the news to him. And he's been wondering this entire time, why are people holding so many secrets? And he's like, Gabby, what did you do? And he felt some type of way. He's like, how could you hold a human being, for that long? And he even said, listen, I risked my life for you. I risked my badge for you. I risked my job for you. Like, this puts us all in jeopardy. And Gabby may have to face some type of jail time, but it seems like Gabby's already ready to deal with any types of consequences that she may have to face. Let's get into Sir. Sir is playing all types of cat and mouse games with Gabby and her crew. Like I said earlier, Sir ended up, shaving himself and going back to his old looking self, basically, right? And the thing about it, Gabby, she has to hold this press conference, right? And while she's holding this press conference, she's talking about Lacey. And at the same time, she's communicating, talking about one of Lacey's favorite books, but it wasn't her favorite book. But she's using these books to communicate with Sir at this press conference. And of course, he ends up getting a hold of it. But at the same time, we have to talk about how, speaking of cat and mouse games, we end up seeing that there was a tip that was basically sent off, right? And apparently it's like a black Mazda, I believe. And they thought that Lacey could potentially be in this black Mazda. Turns out it was a trick. Sir was saying, not yet. We're getting close, but you're not there yet. So he's playing these mind games with the team, as he always does, right? And we even see this guy. He ends up escaping to like another abandoned house, whatever. And while he's there, he leaves these traces. He ends up leaving, I think, some of Gabby's clothes, and the team ended up finding out that they were indeed her clothes. But, in the end, when it comes to Sir, this guy is completely cold and calculated. We end up also getting Lacey's mother, right? She ends up paying them a visit. And, Gabby feeling some type of way. Gabby is basically blaming herself. But, for young Lacey, she was having all these nightmares and things of that nature. And it turns out Sir was watching her those entire years of her upbringing, those entire years of her life, right? She's wondering why she can't sleep at night, because there literally is a monster outside her window stalking her. And Gabby, I love this so much, when Gabby and the mother, they come together, and Gabby's blaming herself, but the mother says, listen, this is not your fault. This is basically all Sir. So that takes some of the pressure off Gabby a little bit, but we know Gabby is going to be hell-bent, which she should, in trying to bring Lacey home safe and sound. It's so smart of Zeke to basically tell his father and Don that, listen, Lacey, she knew that this could potentially happen. She been planning weapons around the house, things of that nature, just in case he does try to come back. We're talking about Sir. And it turns out that, I love this part right here that he introduced in the show. It's like some type of AI technology or whatever, but there's a fight sequence going on, and you can see where Don and everyone else is looking around, and they see that when it came to Lacey, she didn't go down without a fight. Like, they're showing this AI fight, and she put up a good fight, but of course he was a little bit too strong. We're talking about Sir when it came to them. And that fight sequence right there. So having that technology was absolutely dope to see. In the end, we know that Sir and Gabby are continuing to play these cat and mouse games. Now, Gabby is using her knowledge of books, because that's how her and Sir, they end up meeting each other through books, literature, history, things of that nature right there, right? And she's tracking down these numbers. These numbers are going to lead her to go downtown to end up being by a payphone. Originally, she tries to contact Sir via cell phone. It doesn't work. She ends up doing it through the payphone. And he ends up calling the payphone. He says, "Hello, Gabrielle." And that's how the episode ends. So, yeah. Very intense episode. Very, very intense episode. Whew. Yeah, it was that good. It was that good. So, comment below. Share your thoughts with me about NBC Found. I'll be back for episode 2 next week. I can't wait. And as always, thank you for tuning in to the Lawrence Report.